Hey everyone, my name is Wedge and this is TheManaSource. We're a Magic the Gathering YouTube channel dedicated to all things MTG. Over the next 3 weeks, we'll be bringing you videos every Saturday talking about the best/coolest cards spoiled from Khans of Tarkir. If you enjoyed the video and want to see spoiler updates every day, or altered art spotlights, or magic lore videos, or commander videos, or tournament reports, or deck techs, check out our channel in the description below or around like this area. Yeah. With all that said, let's have a conversation about Khans of Tarkir. The set's bonkers. The biggest focus in Khans is on the clans. Expect next week's recap to be mainly about the clans. That should give you enough time to figure out that Teamer is best. For this video, we're going to talk about some of the cards that I find particularly powerful or interesting for one reason or another. Come on this journey with me. Coogans Nexus is 5 colorless for a legendary artifact. If a player would begin an extra turn, that player skips that turn instead. If it would be put into a graveyard from the battlefield, instead exile it and take an extra turn after this one. Okay, stopping people from taking extra turns is about as anti-fun as you can get, and that's totally okay with me. Even in Standard, just lay this down, then shrapnel blast it at your opponent's face. There's 5 damage and an extra turn? Yes, please. The reason I mention this card specifically is that it was one of the first real pieces of confirmation that Mugen was definitely going to be a thing this block, and everything about that is completely awesome. Mugen is a boss. Clever Impersonator is 2 colorless and 2 blue for a 0/0 shapeshifter. You may have it enter the battlefield as a copy of any non-land permanent on the battlefield. Any non-land permanent. So what? This card is fundamentally stupid, practically a strict upgrade to clone. Say hello to your new mono blue planeswalker. Its abilities are +1 to do anything. Whether it's standard, command, or modern legacy, you've got yourself a copy of the biggest thing on the board. Not a creature, thing. Let's do an exercise really quickly. I play Garrick Apex Predator. Finally, I get to play my Dream Walker. I love Magic. Okay. I'll play Clever Impersonator and choose Garrick Apex Predator. I kill your Garrick with my new shiny Garrick. Goes back to the other person. Replace Garrick with Liliana of the Veil or Jace the Mind Sculptor, or I don't know, just anything. You get the point. Let's move on before I vomit. Karu's Spell Thief is 4 mana for a 3/3 Naga Wizard with a morph cost of 4 colorless and 2 blue. When it's turn face up, counter target spell. If that spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it into its owner's graveyard. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost as long as it remains exiled. Yes, the ability is expensive, but I don't care at all because this counter splits second. Because the morph isn't considered an activated ability, you can use it in response to split second. That's hysterical. Cards don't counter split second. That's kind of the point. This card is playable in Commander until the end of time. Relevant in any blue deck, unless you steal Crows and Grips all day. Game. Sarkhan the Dragon Speaker is 3 colorless and 2 red for a 4 loyalty planeswalker. His +1 makes him an irritable Stormbreath Dragon, replacing Pro White with indestructibility. His -3 is Flame Slash, dealing 4 damage to target creature, and his -6 is an emblem that lets you draw 2 additional cards at the beginning of your draw step. You also have to discard your hand at the beginning of your end step. First, most people didn't think Sarkhan was going to be mono red, so that's a thing. Second, his +1 turns him into a dragon. This is what he's wanted his entire life. Guys, his dream has come true. How can you not be emotional right now? Seriously though, a 4/4 indestructible flying haste dragon is pretty sweet. As far as playability is concerned, he could see the top end of an aggressive mono-red strategy, but I think it's more likely that he fits right into a monsters build, whether it be Jund, green-red, Teamer, or anything else. Along with Xenagos, Pelucranos, and old Stormy himself, Sarkhan just adds more pressure to the board while being pretty difficult to remove, especially on your turn. You'd need Devouring Light, Utter End, or something similar. It's pretty annoying. Personally, my favorite part about new Sarkhan is that we're starting to see fair ultimates. It's an ability that has a situational upside, but doesn't automatically win you the game if you get to activate it. I think this is a good move on Wizards' part. I'd much rather play in a game where I can actually have a chance at fighting back against an emblem, but that's just me. Personally, my favorite card spoiled so far is Rattleclaw Mystic, 2 mana for a 2/1 human shaman that can tap to add 1 green, 1 blue, or 1 red to your mana pool. It also has Morph with a turn face-up cost of 2 colorless. When it's turn face-up, add 1 green, 1 blue, and 1 red to your mana pool. It's important to understand the true value here, so let's talk this out. Turn 1, Elvish Mystic. Turn 2, play the Rattleclaw face down. Turn 3, turn him face up. Tap him, tap your 3rd land, tap Elvish Mystic, play the new card Segu Mauler, 6 mana, 6/6 trample hexproof on turn 3. No big deal, right? Yeah, no, it's a huge deal. The Mystic is a mana generation machine. The color fixing is just crazy. Best part, it turns face up for colorless mana. You can put this in a deck without even needing the green mana at all. It's the ultimate splashable card. I see this as being a staple in Standard until rotation easily. The mana generation, the fixing, and the flexibility and cost are all just too good to ignore. Also, that buy a box promo, it's like, how you doing? Come here often? Yes. Sorin Solemn Visitor is 2 colorless, 1 white, and 1 black for a 4 loyalty planeswalker. He can +1 to give all your creatures +1/+0 and lifelink until your next turn. He can -2 to put a 2/2 flying vampire onto the battlefield, and he can -6 to get an emblem that forces each opponent to sacrifice a creature at the beginning of their upkeep. New Sorin screams Commander. Notice how his first ability says, until your next turn. In a 4-player Commander game, your army could have +1/+0 and lifelink for a while. It's pretty sweet. Also, his ultimate is super annoying in that format. As far as Standard playability is concerned, this is the top end of a super aggressive Mardu strategy. You Sorin on turn 4, buff the team, and swing in, potentially gaining you a ton of life. Just saying, this guy and Bramaz seems fun to me. Sultai Charm is 1 black, 1 green, and 1 blue for an instant. Choose one. Either destroy target monocolored creature, destroy target artifact or enchantment, or draw 2 cards, then discard a card. There are 2 important things about this card. 1, it confirms the charm cycle for wedges. That's awesome. 2, look at that new text layout. It looks so much nicer and easier to understand. This will help new and old players alike. It's aesthetically more pleasing, better organized. Is it wrong that I'm more excited about that than the card itself? Anyways, like the charms are meant to do, this card provides a lot of versatility. Enchantments are pretty relevant right now, so the naturalizability is useful. Ultimate price is rotating out, so the first ability could be good, and virtual card advantage of the last ability could help you out in a tight spot. I know a lot of people that just cycle Azorius Charm. This will provide a similar function if necessary. Either way, it's a decent sideboard card in Standard, especially at the beginning of the format when no one has any idea what's going on. You want as many flexible cards as possible, and the charm's pretty flexible. Utter End is 2 colorless, 1 white, and 1 black for an instant. Exile target non-land permanent. What? How is this in Standard? How it's... Remember Vindicate? Yeah, that card is broken. Utter End isn't Vindicate, but it's only 1 more mana and instant speed to exile a non-land permanent. Exile anything non-land. Mutavault isn't even in the format anymore, so you don't have to worry about that. It deals with new Sarkhan when he's a super adorable dragon. It kills all other walkers and everything else. In a format where you're losing a ton of removal come rotation, this catch-all spell will see play. Plus, it has one of the coolest game day top 8 cards made in a long time. Just seriously look at that. It's awesome. Did I save the best for last? Yes. Was it because I had to prepare myself for the hype that has never really gone away since they were announced? Also yes. Onslaught Fetchlands are back. Modern players cry tears of joy and money. The impact of these reprints is pretty far-reaching. Unlike the Shocklands, these are staples in every single format that they possibly can be staples in. They're fundamentally powerful and everyone knows it. Modern is immediately more affordable. Because of this need, Khans of Tarkir could become the most purchased Magic set of all time and have a turn of value as sealed product. The most important thing, at least to me, is that it proves that Wizards reacts to the secondary market when it's jeopardizing something it cares about. This shows that Modern will be supported for a long time, and that's pretty sweet. Remember, next week we're going to focus on the clans and the cons of each clan, so be ready for that. Until then, if there was a card that we didn't cover that you want to talk about, leave a comment below and we'll chat. What do you all think of cons so far? I feel like it's a more primal version of Ravnica. Things are just chaos everywhere, and it's pretty much the best thing ever, plus Fetchlands, so yeah. Anyways, remember to subscribe below for the latest and most reliable Khans of Tarkir spoiler information you could ever need. This is TheManaSource, I'm Wedge, thanks for watching, we'll see you next time.
What?